everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. Yesterday I had a great shave. I used the Grizzly Bray brush that was sent to me from Timmy Chestnut. It was amazing. I didn't actually realise how big that brush was until I got it back in with all my other brushes. It's huge, it's a massive brush. It's not even complete, it doesn't even get dwarfed by the Razor Rock Hulk. It's a big old brush. I was very surprised. But anyway, back onto the Semogue, back into the breaking process and back into the Semogue for the rest of November. Hopefully, without any more surprises. I'm going to be using Barristers Reserve Cool. The reason I pulled this out, I had a shocking lather with the Semogue using the Reserve base from Fougere Gothique from Barrister and Man. I'm going to today use Reserve Cool, mainly because one of the guys that watches the channel, Fred Shaves, he's also on Instagram. We keep in touch on Instagram through private messaging or direct messaging or whatever they freaking call it these days. And yeah, so he's purchased this, he's used it, he loved it, he used a synthetic with it. I'm going to see if I can get something out of this bloody bowl knot using the Reserve base today. So I've got it soaking. It is the Semogue Owners Club Taj. The Taj being the colour of the resin, which is basically, you can see how much that knot swells at the base, see how thick it is compared to the silver band, just here. Now, whenever it's dry, I'm just going to flick out most of the excess. You can see just by flicking some of the water out, you can see it's actually thinned down already. But I'm hoping you can. Okay, so I've thicked most of it out, straight into the soap. And the one thing that I've learned very quickly using these boar brushes, or using this boar brush in particular, is that it needs a heavy load. So I'm going to load this quite heavy, even though this is Reserve base and it drinks water like it is going out of fashion. I love the scent of this. It's reasonably subjective for a lot of people. It is based on Floyd Blue, which I've never smelled before. I've got no idea what it smells like. You can get Epsilon Blue, which is pretty much an exact clone. And from what I hear from some people in the shaving community, it's actually better than what Floyd Blue was. But I can't obviously testify to that. But obviously this stuff here, Barristers Reserve Cool, smells great, performs great. Even with a shit lather, the Reserve base will still perform excellently. And the Splash for me is one of the best on the market. Not just this scent, but Barrister and Man splashes, just in general. Wet the face. I'm going to scoop excess off the tub. So when you first get Barristers Reserve, it's quite a soft consistency. It's almost a crope, if I'm honest. It's quite soft on that first opening of the tub when you first crack the seal and let air in. But once you've had it for a while, you've used it a few times, you've left it out to dry, if you flow from the tub that is, and it actually firms up. Now, the consistency of it now isn't really too dissimilar to the Glissant base from Barrister and Man. So it will eventually harden up, which for us guys that love to load from the tubs is excellent, because it's nicer to load from the tub, I find, when the soap's a little bit firmer. Especially when using a bow knot. So as you can see, the soap has loaded right into the base of the knot pretty much. I'm just going to keep dipping now and painting water in. Barrister's Reserve base, which this is, will take a lot of water, and I mean a lot. It doesn't make the most voluminous of lathers, but I'm about to show you. I believe I am going to get a voluminous lather here, much far superior to that of what I received when I used the Fougere Gothique. I think my problem with that was, I love that soap. For me at the moment, it's probably my favourite scent of any soap that I've ever used. I absolutely love it. I love the labelling as well, but the soap itself, the scent on it, blows my mind. My wife absolutely hates it. Like, probably the worst smelling soap in the den for her. The fact that I keep it around speaks volumes for how much I like it. Not even the wife can't dissuade me to get rid of it. So it'll be hopefully a reasonably quick shave. I am working today. I have had quite a bit on this morning. So I'm pretty much getting to that translucent stage where you can see through to my skin. You can see it. You can see the shine just on the stuff in the actual brush there. Look how shiny that is. There we go. Display the brush. And just start building the ladder. I'm just going to work with this for a little while before I start dipping the tips again, because this base really does thicken up into a paste again, and then what you have to do is then once again sort of start adding water into it, similar to what I did from the beginning. I'm just looking at this, I think that's actually hydrated enough. I think that's pretty much spot on. So I'm going to leave it as is. It's not as voluminous as I said. It is a low, can't remember what Willet Barrister man called it. Low structure soap. So you don't generally get that massive voluminous lather, but you get the same properties. Beautiful. Massive difference when you overload these Semogues, when you overload a boar brush, massive difference. The blade for today is going to be a brand new Gillette Super Thin, which were very kindly sent down from Dustin up in Perth in Western Australia. And I've got that with the B plate on my Carve Christopher Bradley razor, which is 0.73 or 0.71 blade gap, whatever it is. And yeah, so my other plates, the C, the AA and A, are on the way back down from Perth. And it's given Dustin a real good idea of what his favourite plate is, and I don't know whether he's going to buy any or whether he's even going to stick with the Carve, I'm not sure, but it's given him a much better idea. So here we go, first use brand new blade. I've been using the cartridge quite a bit actually. Now, I know it's not what the guys come to the channel for, you guys and gals, should I say as well, come to this channel for, to watch cartridge razors being used. But there's something about them now that I don't enjoy using them, I'll be honest. I don't really enjoy using them, but there's something about the shave from them that brings an enjoyment from the end product. The actual use during the shave, yeah, it's just, you're just pulling it over, there's no thought process. This way of shaving has given me the technique in terms of mapping my face. Figuring out which way the hair's going. Best way to shave with the grain across the grain, no against the grain. And that's what's got me, in my opinion, to be able to use a cartridge razor so well. Do I prefer this way of shaving? Yes, I do, yeah. Massively prefer it. I'll never not shave this way. But everything in this world has its place. Beautiful. Right, just rinse off. residual slickness is good. I was expecting it to be better than that. It's actually pretty good. It's not. The last few shaves I've had have been really good. The residual slickness yesterday, I don't even remember what soap I used. That's terrible. But it was when I used the Grizzly Bay brush. I've got it. Oh, it was actually Katie's Bubbles Luxury Shaving Cream. Super slick. I'm definitely not getting the same sort of lather from it, from this, in terms of structure. But I can say that it works well in hard water because my water is shockingly hard. If you're looking for a sharp, smooth, efficient blade, these are so good. There is one guy, I can't even remember who it was, and apologies if you watch this, that has purchased a 120 blade tuck of the Gillette Super Thins. I believe from Thailand that he's bought them from. And they were $40. Man, if you use the same blades as me and you get the same results, you get smooth, sharp, like the Gillette Nasets, the Rubies, the vintage blades, and they all work sort of similar as I speak about them. They work similar for you as well. Then these blades are awesome. If I ever go to Thailand, I'll be grabbing some, I can assure you. So you can see how thin this is now, like extremely thin. This is what happened the last time. Now, I loaded this brush heavy this time, no doubt about it. And it's gone. I'm just going to dip the tip, see if anything happens. I can feel it's just fibres on my skin pretty much. I can almost feel the individual fibres of the brush. So there's nothing there. I mean, it's definitely something to do with the soap and the bow. Because I know when I use even Badger with Barristers Reserve, and definitely synthetic, I can get a great lather from it. It just doesn't seem to work the same. I don't know if it's something to do with the fact that I'm not hydrating it enough at the offset. I really don't know, can't put my finger on it. But at this stage in your shave, all you want is slickness really. And it gives you that in abundance, it really does. But very close shave today, and I'm not feeling really any irritation at all. It's definitely very slick, so the scent for me is really nice, so beautiful cologne, just works very well. Yeah, I mean that's like, I don't know, it's almost like shower milk that you put on in the shower if you use shower milk. beautiful. Still an amazing shave, and if anything it really highlights how good quality the soap is. But even for me with a substandard lather that I created, nothing to do with the soap, because I know this soap performs, I know I can get a lather from it. It just seems to be me and the battle with the Boar brush. Now I wouldn't say the Boar brush is broken in yet, but I will say that it's not far away. I'm sort of thinking between 10 and 15 shaves in there. If I watch day today, I'm definitely 15 plus shaves on this brush. Semogue reckon between 15 and 30 shaves and it'll be broken into as best as it'll be, and then over time it will still break in and soften up ever so slightly over the months and years. But over that 15 to 20 uses sort of thing is when the initial break-in period happens. The tips of the hair split. I mean, one great thing with it is it's not a shedder at all. I think I've lost about 3 hairs and half a hair as well. And maybe the odd little tip that's just snapped off when it's split, the little fine tips. Maybe lost a few of them. But other than that, I mean, the thing is, it'll just split again. If you lose all the fine tips on the end of the hair, they'll just split again, and then you'll get the next set. Got one tiny weeper there. I'm actually going to just a little bit of water, pick up my little alum matchstick, which looks like that. Just rub it right on there. But other than that, that's a mighty fine shave with pretty much no irritation, I don't believe. Rub that off, dry it. And I'm going to finish off today with some Barristers. Give it a good shake. The oil does split on this a little bit, you can see how blue this is as well. Barristers Reserve Cool. I've got 2 bottles of this, both of them from Oive Chapel. This is the one that came out with the Reserve splash, the Reserve soap initially. The bottle has changed now, so this isn't like Moyle Grooming where you put a little bit on, you can really slap this on. Oh, wow. There's actually not really any burn or anything from that there. I got no feeling initially from it. I only get a good hit of the alcohol hitting me and giving me a bit of a burn, but nothing there. Just the menthol now. Menthol feels great. Very similar to Moyle Grooming and all those other guys out there that get great use of menthol, Lather Bros and the balms. I haven't tried the splashes, but I have tried the splash actually, the Cubano one. Barristers Reserve, cool, beautiful scent, beautiful labelling, beautiful tubs, even the label on the back. Just everything about Barrister, man. It's premium looking, premium smelling, premium performing. It's very good quality stuff, it really is. The brush for today was the Semogue Owners Club Taj resin with the 24mm premium Cerda, premium bristle knot, premium boar knot, whatever you want to call it. And it is breaking in beautifully. It's very, very soft to touch now when it's been soaked. And even when it's bone dry the following day, it's still quite soft to sort of rub on your face. Word of advice and a bit of a tip: if your boar brush is bone dry and it's been sitting for maybe 3 or 4 days and it's went really, really dry and all the moisture's completely gone, don't mess about with the knot. It will snap the fibres quite easily and you'll lose a lot of the natural hair fibres in your brush. You'll just break them off if you... Now that this is wet, I know I can do that. It's not going to break any tips off, it's not going to break the hairs themselves. They do absorb water. But if you leave it to dry out completely and then you fanny about with it and you scrub it on your face, you push it on your head and you start pushing it, things like that, you will break the hair fibres, and you'll break them generally at the base and they'll start falling out. You'll think your brush is shedding, but it's not really, you're just being a rough arse with it. So make sure it's soaked before you mess about with it, or even if you've just used it and it's dried out a little bit, maybe 10-12 hours, it will still be soft enough at the base of the tips to actually move it about and have a bit of a feel of it and stuff like that, and it won't break the fibres of your hairs. Just something I learned through my experience from my previous Semogue Owners Club brush, and I thought it was shedding and it wasn't. I've realised now from this brush and other boar brushes that it was my user error when it was bone dry that caused the hairs to fall out. So, oh, it smells incredible, absolutely incredible. The razor today was the Christopher Bradley from the Carve Shaving Company, all brass, CNC machined, pretty much for me almost perfection. The only thing that would make this better is stainless and titanium, and I know that's on the way, so I can't wait for them to come out. Gillette super thin blade, superb blade, it really is. It's so smooth, it's so comfortable, it's efficient, sharp, it's got everything you want in the blade, and if you get them, you actually walk into a store and buy them in Thailand, you can pick up 120 blades for like $5 American, which is incredible. Online, you're looking at $40. Barristers Reserve Cool Splash to finish off. I would show you the ingredients list, but I don't think it will pick up on the camera because it's so small, but we'll try. But you can pause that if you want to have a read. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I got a lot of shit happening in my life at the moment, and this stuff gives me a bit of a release, and I do feel better just talking to the camera, and obviously in a more distant sort of term, talking to you guys as well. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're all keeping as mentally sane as you can, because life is fucking hard and you get hurdle after hurdle after hurdle after brick wall after just, you know, there's so many things you've got to get over and jump through, and so many hoops to get to the end goal, which is hopefully that you ultimately live a pretty happy life. And all this shit here, all this stuff in my life, all the materialistic things, yes, they make me happy, but they don't make you ultimately happy. So if you can be happy internally, then everything else doesn't really fucking matter. So that's where I'm trying to reach at the moment, trying to get there with my whole family. I'm trying to get there as well, so we'll see how we go. Stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Oh yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Cheers.